Karine, a couple of questions. One, is there a log showing how many times the president has been to that office during, his vice president, when he was vice president, etc.? Is there a log showing the times that he traveled there?
Traveled where?
To that office. Yes, the Biden-Pence. Yes.
You mean since he's been vice president? No. Oh, since he left as vice president?
Yes.
I do not know of such a log.
Nothing.
Look, I'm not sure. You're just trying to see how many times he's gone to the Penn Biden Center or office. I don't have anything to share about how he's. I mean, at least for the last 2 years, right? You guys have been very aware of where he goes, right? Because he has a protective pool that travels with him at all times. So I can only speak to the last 2 years. When he was a citizen, right? After becoming vice president, I cannot speak to his movements there, where he's been, or how many times he was there. As you know, he worked at University of Pennsylvania, so clearly he was there often. But as president, you guys are very much aware of his movements and where he goes and the trips that he takes because he is indeed president of the United States. So I can't speak to after that or before that.
You spoke of the legal aspect of it. There is also a political aspect to this as well. There are some Republicans who are grabbing onto this cloud of documents that have been reported. What do you believe will happen? How will the work for the American public go forth with Republicans already talking about investigations? Already, Marjorie Taylor has been screaming impeachment for the longest, and now with this, she's saying impeachment. How does the work of the American public move forward as now documents are reported that were in an office connected to Joe Biden?
Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the more prudent thing to do is to make sure that my colleagues are dealing with this, my colleagues in the White House counsel office, and I want to respect the process. This is an ongoing process, as you all know, that is being reviewed by the Department of Justice, and I'm just not going to speak beyond that.
I was talking about the politics.
I know you're talking about the politics.
Not just the legal, but I'm talking about the politics.
I know, I understand. I'm just not going. There is an ongoing process that is being reviewed by the Department of Justice. I'm just not going to speak beyond that.
Lastly, the Atlanta trip. Can you talk about what this moment, with this year being the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, what does this King holiday mean to this president?
This holiday, as every holiday, when we talk about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, when we remember him on his birthday, has always been a critical moment for this president. You heard him talk about the reasons why he decided to run. A lot of it had to do with civil rights. And he has an administration that makes sure that no one is forgotten, that that he has an administration that represents the country, one of the most diverse administration in modern history, and that also shows a commitment to how he believes to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy as well, and making sure that we walk in that legacy every day. I don't want to get ahead. He's going to be speaking, as you know, at Ebenezer Church in a couple of days, and he wanted to make sure that he recognized that day by going there and talking about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, what he meant, not just to the Black community, but to every community just across the country, to Americans.
Great.